Hey, I want to welcome you to Called to Be Parents. Pastor Justin Krupski. I got Mark Freeman, who is a teacher here at our day school, and he's also a parent. And so I did say we're going to bring some parents along with me, parenting experts, and I do think Mark is an expert in this in many ways, as he's led our staff here at Trinity. And a lot of this of what we're going to talk about in our day school students, but also as a dad, I've witnessed him doing this with his kids. And so welcome, Mark Freeman. And we're going to be talking about service and how we can teach our kids how to serve, the importance of that. And this is the Christmas season, so certainly a lot of opportunities, but not just the Christmas season, every day of our life. What are we doing? How are we bringing this godly character into our kids' lives? And so, Mark,
it's really important.
What's on your mind right now?
So many things. So first of all, thank you for the intro. So I'm a teacher here at Trinity, as you probably know, and I just want to share that I and my colleagues here, we love your kids, right? I call them my kids. And it's a hard time when I talk to parents. Sometimes I'll be talking about your kid as my kid. So everything I'm going to share today is out of love, our mutual love for your kids. I'm also a parent, and I have 3 children who all went to Trinity. They're all adults now. One's an engineer, one's a dentist, one works for works with children. And I wanted to just share with you kind of as a future you, because some of the things I've learned, it wasn't this master plan I had going into it, it's looking back in the rearview mirror, hindsight. So if you can think of me as future you talking to current you about some of the importance of character traits and serving and volunteering. So I did ask my kids, I told them I was doing this, and I asked them to share with me some of the experiences they've had growing up, like the things when they were talking to college coaches for recruiting or employers or people they meet now as they're adults. Like, what are the defining moments? What defines you, right? And it wasn't the trips we took to Disney or the vacations we took, or like we used to go, we had a cottage up north and I would take them boating, right? And tubing and water skiing. And I thought those would be the things they talked about. Well, they talk about the tubing because like they said, I scarred them for life, but like they didn't talk about those things. What they did talk about was that time we made 80 pumpkin pies and delivered them to the Detroit Rescue Mission for Thanksgiving. Or when we went down to New Orleans after Katrina and we mudded houses and they learned how to tile and we did all those things to help people that we never met before. Or all the times we used to make sandwiches and serve at Trinity's SSS on Sundays. Those are the things that they actually share as like the moments that define them. And I thought that was very interesting because all those, I wish I had this plan and told you we're going to do this and this and this and that's what's going to make them. But it was just things that we happened to do. But when they look back at their life, those are the important things. And the other thing is like all 3 of my kids were college athletes, scholarship athletes. So I know like some of the pressures if you have kids that are in sports, right? And you want the best for your kid and we're going to go play in college and stuff. My kids were good. They were scholarship athletes, but like my daughter was a middle blocker for volleyball and we thought she was good. And then we found out, yeah, but there's 1,000 other kids just as good. So what differentiated her? Mm-hmm. And it came down to those same things, right? It was who she was as a person, as a team player, as the character, someone the coach could count on. And that's also true of how they got jobs eventually too, those character traits.
So what I hear you saying a lot right now, and I'm just taking this in because I'm not at my future me yet. I'm not you yet. My kids are still younger,
old.
But
you're not old. It's okay.
Right, service, certainly in the kingdom of God, right? Jesus has a lot to say about it, and it's a huge character trait, and it sets us apart. It differentiates Christians, right, from this world that we put people's needs above our own in service. But it's not just a Christian thing. It actually differentiates us for a whole slew of other things like athletics, right? College scholarships.
Mm-hmm. But I think, to me, like there's a gazillion self-help books, right, that you can read, right? And all those things, how to get ahead. But the principles of those all go back, if you trace it, to the Bible, right? About biblical principles. Like I took a couple Bible verses. I was intimidated sitting next to Pastor here, but John 15, my command is this, love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to to lay down one's life for one's friends. Or 1 Peter, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in all its various forms. And I think when we talk about character traits and about serving, there's the pragmatic, practical, right? What are you going to write on your college resume, right? You have to have real things to write on there. Did you really volunteer? Did you do those things? But there's the underlying principle there, right? Which is your faith. So it's great, in my opinion, that you get kind of credit for living your faith. And I think that's wonderful that the world acknowledges that. But the reason we do it is our faith, like you were saying. It is an example of our faith. But there are benefits to doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I think a big thing I'm hearing you say right now in my parenting head is all the priorities I have with my kids, like the entertainment stuff I give to them and the opportunities, whether it's sports or art or music or dance, whatever that is, right? Where do the opportunities prioritize themselves when it comes to let's go serve? Let's go do something for the kingdom of Jesus. Let's put someone else's needs above our own. And I hear you saying, which is crazy in the world of parenting, right? The idea of serving together as a family is way down here versus I got to get my kids all these different sports things or these different things, right? Where's the priority of serving on our schedule as parents?
And even for me, I tell you, if I could do it, rewind and do it again, and that's kind of why I wanted to share this today, is I would flip them. I'd say, let's spend time doing those things and building the character. If you are a Trinity parent, you've ever taken a tour in our school, I'm one of the stops. And I always say to parents, like, one of the things I think we do very well here is when kids get to high school and college and young adulthood, and they're in the storms of life that we all know, you can't set a post to tie onto in the middle of the storm, right? You have to set the post early so that when it comes time, and you need that foundation, that you have it. And that's what we do. And this is part of that. The character traits are the things they go back to that they remember, right? Someone giving this just happened to me this week with my daughter, a teacher in 8th grade who had given her a devotion, and it sat in her locker and then her dorm room, and now it's in her car. And she, every day on the way to work, she just pulls it out and reads it. That wasn't by design, but right? There was a milestone or a fence post set early in her life.
Yeah. We came up with a concept years ago, and I know we didn't necessarily come up with this. I'm sure other churches or people have said this, but the nerve to serve.
Yes.
Right? The nerve to serve. And so it takes nerve to be a good parent. It takes nerve to be a godly parent. And I think just hearing this message, right? I need a nerve to make this a priority in how I'm raising my children.
Yeah. Because no one's going to tell you that. A coach isn't going to tell you, like, hey, prioritize that over our practice. Like, they're trying to do a good job as well, but like, you are the one who's shaping that adult child, that person, right? And who they're going to be in the world and how they're going to give back and live their faith.
Yeah. All right. So one more thing for us as parents, right? I don't know if you're feeling more weight right now, but I do believe, right, when we feel that weight, it's okay. You got to let that settle in because this is a big deal. Right, that parenting is a big deal. I think we all know that, and we say that parenting's not for the weak. But as we receive this, Mark, if you just give parents a word of encouragement right now, let us breathe.
I don't mean to be overwhelming.
Let us breathe.
Yes, I don't. Again, as a future you, like, this wasn't a plan that I had. This wasn't like I've made so many mistakes. We could make 8 videos of all the mistakes. So I don't want it to come across like I had this master plan. But look for opportunities. Like at Trinity, we are so blessed. For opportunities for the kids to do, for you as a family to come in. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Years, my kids made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and they were horrible, and I feel sorry for the people that ate them because they were messy in there. But they did it, and they knew it was from them, and it was a gift from them. I was telling you at the beginning of this, I wanted to sing Little Drummer Boy, because right, for those of you maybe watching this later, this is Christmas time, and I think of that little boy, and what he gave was what he had. It was truly from him. It wasn't like somebody passed it down to him, or it was from them. And our kids know that. They know when they've done something and they feel proud, and right, I did that.
Yeah.
Whatever that was. So I don't want it to be overwhelming. Just do your best. Take one step forward.
All right. Take one step forward. The nerve to serve This is called to be parents. God, when He calls you, He equips you. And so parents, I pray this is a blessing for you. And so let's have the nerve to serve, the nerve to be the parents that God has called us to be. Jesus said it, right? And Mark shared this with us. John 13, I have come not to be served, but to serve. And so let's teach that to our kids.
Amen.